Hello, everyone. Welcome in Bomber Briefing, Episode 5. I'm Jake Asman. Joining us this week to break down everything happening in the Ithaca Bomber football program is a man known by his teammates and coaches as Mikey Football, Michael Roumes, a junior defensive back, junior safety, joining the show this week. Michael, appreciate the time, my friend. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Let's start right off the bat with your nickname, because when you have the nickname Mikey Football, that immediately stands out to me. How did you get the nickname Mikey Football?
I don't really know. I think it's just from like pre-practices, just like fooling around with the football, with everybody, coaches, teammates. And then later on, as we got to games and stuff, I was playing a bunch of different positions, picking up on them pretty quickly. And I think that's just what happened. I'm the holder, safety. I had long snap freshman year. They just say that I could do a couple good things, and Mikey football stuck.
So how did you, I guess, be inserted at all these different positions? Was it something you asked for? Did the coaches recognize a certain skill set? How did they deploy you all over the place?
In high school, I kind of did a little bit of everything. Like all these positions are on my film in high school, so they had an idea that I could do it. And then I think just from honestly, like pre-practice, I remember freshman year, our long snapper went down, and coach was like, "We need a long snapper." And from practices before, I was just long snapping for fun, just doing it. Our one coach saw me and said, "Come over here and snap this for coach." And I snapped it, and he was like, "All right, you're starting on Saturday." And I was like, "Okay." So I think that's kind of where it started, and then from there it just grew on, and they were just asking me, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Very cool. I love Mikey football. I want to go back to your recruiting visit and kind of how you first got involved with IC. Was IC always on your radar? Kind of take us through the whole process, how you ultimately ended up choosing to spend your 4 years at Ithaca College.
Yeah, well, in high school, I didn't really know of any college that I really wanted to go to. Um, my coach in high school sent out my film to a couple of guys he knew, and I ultimately knew that I was gonna want to study physical therapy. So me and my parents were looking up schools. Ithaca came up, and it's 3 hours away from my house. So like I was like, it might be a little far. I don't know. And as we went through, uh, the coaching staff really kept reaching out to me, um, saying we want you, all this stuff. And Ithaca was the 6 year program for PT, so I knew that was good. Um, and pretty much, I think I chose Ithaca based off of the physical therapy program, and then like I knew I was going to play football somewhere, um, and I didn't like really look into the program that much. I knew that the coaches seemed awesome when I came and visited. They were really like they looked. It seemed like they cared about me a lot, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Like if I do end up coming here, I'm in a program that wants me and likes me. Um, but I think it was mainly the physical therapy program that brought me here, and luckily I ended up in a great football program and got to be at Ithaca today.
So a lot of people might not realize that you're in North Jersey, and you mentioned the physical therapy program at Ithaca College. It is one of the best programs in the country. 6 years, as you talked about. So you'll be spending 6 years on IC South Hill, which is pretty cool. I want to go back to some of your conversations with the coaches leading up to your decision to go to IC. What were some of the main takeaways that you remember from going through that recruiting process and really doing your research on what Ithaca Bomber football is all about?
Uh, so one of the main things, I remember coming in. I guess it was like my second visit to campus, and I was talking to Coach Swanstrom and Coach Turper, who left now, but we were sitting in their office, and I remember them asking me like, "What position do you want to play?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like I'm not really sure." And then like I wanted to play defense, but like if they put me on offense, I wouldn't have cared. Um, but then like I remember them asking me that, and like as if they cared that much about me and like what my decisions were, what I wanted to do, and that meant a lot to me. Just knowing that they cared, and then also I remember they would send postcards all the time, like handwritten letters, and like no other school that I was looking at was doing that. And that definitely stuck out to me.
Very cool. So now that you've had 2 seasons playing that program, and obviously, hopefully, a third season coming up sometime, maybe in the spring, of course. What have been some of your favorite memories being a part of the Bomber program?
Obviously, the first one that comes up is MetLife. That was one of the coolest things I've ever done. But besides that, I was thinking about this recently. Like my high school team, we had some guys that loved football, right? But coming to college, it's so different because you have a whole team that's bonded over the same exact thing, and it like everybody loves football, everybody's going for the common goal, and like being around those guys every single day and working, they're making you work harder, you're making them work harder. It's awesome to be around. I will never forget like the practices that we've had and like the energy we've had at practice. It's unbelievable.
We got to talk about the Court of Kentucky experience. You mentioned it at MetLife. I mean, as someone who grew up not too far from MetLife Stadium, take me through what that week was like for you. How surreal was it to play a game at the home of the Jets and the Giants?
Uh, it was crazy. I remember my oldest brother played a state championship at the old MetLife Stadium or the old Giant Stadium, and like I remember texting him. I was like, "Was it loud? Was it like all this stuff? How cool was it?" And obviously, a high school game's not going to get as crowded, but he was like, "Yeah, it was kind of loud. Like it was crazy." So I was like, "All right, kind of know what's gonna happen." And then the day before, we're walking through, and I'm like in awe of this huge stadium. I sat on the logo and took a Snapchat, like spun around. Um, like even that, just like being a little kid again and like running around the field. We weren't even like doing anything. We were just like throwing a ball around. It was so fun. And then game day, warming up on the field. I actually, so warming up, I was like looking around, checking the fans because they're like, "Oh, the lower bowl is gonna be so loud. It's gonna be so cool." And looking around, there's like people scattered around the stadium. I was like, "Is this like this is cool, but like, is this what it's gonna be? Like, there's gonna be open spaces." And then go back in, and then we run through the tunnel, which was unbelievable feeling again. Just chills every time I think of it. Um, so running out, it's still not as full as I thought it was gonna be. And I was like, okay, well, this is still awesome, but I thought it was going to be a little better. Opening kickoff happens. Um, and I'm looking around. I'm like, wow, it's getting a little packed. And then as soon as we went out there for our first defensive drive, I look back into the stadium and it is packed, like unbelievably packed. Not an open seat. And I'm like, wow, okay, they were right. Like this is nuts. And it was the best feeling in the world to just be out there and have so many people that you don't even know come together and just be a part of this giant thing. It was so cool.
You know, I can part of the reason why I was maybe a little slow to arrive is we were all having too much fun in the parking lot at the.
That's what I assumed.
So obviously, the final question I pretty much have asked every guest on Bomber Briefing about it. I mean, how much better was that week, knowing that you guys won the game, that you played so well, and that bus ride home is certainly not as long as it would have been had you guys not been able to get the W.
Yeah. I mean, that was a huge win, obviously. But yeah, I mean, if it didn't go our way, I'm sure it would have been fun to talk about still. But obviously, the win makes it that much sweeter.
Absolutely. So I have to ask you about some of the social media videos that you put out. I mean, I don't know if they're necessarily specific for Twitter or for TikTok or for Instagram, but your coach Swanstrom, of course, sent me some videos of you doing all these different tricks. And I don't even know what you're doing in a lot of these videos. And they're awesome. We'll definitely attach a link to some of it at the bottom of the interview. But tell everyone about some of the viral things you've been able to do on social media.
That's funny. I was not expecting this question. So obviously, like COVID happened, and I have 2 older brothers and a younger sister, are stuck at home, and we've always like played around in the house, like done all this stuff together when we were little, and it was honestly a really fun time being back together with them at home, all in one area, like all at the same time. But the one morning we were just so bored, and we've been seeing trick shots on Instagram, like you said, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, anything. And we're like, why can't we just do stuff like this? So we started throwing a ping pong ball off a wall and like catching it in our mouth, right? There's like stupid stuff. And we end up like setting up a little solo cup with water, and we like start spitting the ball after we catch it off the wall, spitting it at the cup. We started filming it just in case something happened. It was just in case we made it. And we ended up making it, and it just started a trend for us. And every day after that, we're like, what can we do? What can we do? The next day I'm like setting up pots and pans everywhere. And then so after I posted the first one on Twitter, and I got the most likes, most retweets I've ever gotten. I was like, maybe I should like just start doing this. This is kind of cool. Like I kind of like people liking my stuff. So I came up with another one. I forget what our next one was, but we like getting the whole family involved, and then just from there it kept going. I ended up juggling the three and throwing them in. Yeah, we could put a link in, but it was like those times you'll never get back, you know. Like being back with your family, having fun, like you're little kids again. It was fun.
Very cool. Definitely check it out on Nike Football's Twitter account. His handle is at MIKROUMY. Let me end with this. You know, if you're given the opportunity to talk to a recruit that's considering, you know, spending the next 4 years playing football at IT, you know, what would be your message on why they should, you know, make the decision just like you did to play football at Ithaca College?
Well, obviously the coaching staff here is unbelievable. They're like the knowledge that they could give you, like how hard they push you, it's unmatched, and I love that about them, and I'm so happy that I ended up here because of them. And then obviously the like Ithaca College is one of the best schools in the nation for almost any program we have here. And yeah, like playing football at the college level is amazing, and if you could have it here at a historic school, like why not come here? You know.
Mikey, pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for being the guest this week on Bomber Briefing.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more. Make sure you follow Ithaca College Football on both Instagram and Twitter at Ithaca Bomber FB. This is Jake Asman signing off.